Good
Hello.
evening.
How are we doing?
Welcome to Finnegan's. We're back again.
We're back. I'm back.
They thought it would never happen.
They did. They said it couldn't be true. Yeah.
But we're here.
And I'm back to bring some order to it. I seen a couple while I was away. Like
You were on holiday skiving again. I mean, you have more.
You have more holidays
you
than
have.
Judith Chalmers. You
Judith
do.
Chalmers for all of our
You do have more
middle-aged
holidays.
listeners. Who is Judith Chalmers? Like,
Judith Chalmers, she was like, "Wish you were here." It was the programme.
yeah, but my holiday. I've been on holiday since we
So,
did
yeah, you've been
last
on holiday.
Finnegan's. But
Yeah.
your holiday was Cyprus, 5-star hotel.
Yeah.
My holiday, youth hostel, about 30
Well, that's your own fault,
people,
isn't it?
All of us were in the same
I mean,
room.
I'll
with the kids.
give you some good advice now. You know, like Tom's top tips.
Yep.
Don't go in a youth hostel holiday. There
Well-
you go. And you were with
all the kids, all our kids, all the cousins,
everyone's
20.
other kids.
It was fun.
That would be horrendous.
Well,
that
I've
would
got-
be my idea of holidays from hell.
I've got a couple of stories anyway from
Have
there,
you?
so we're getting
We'll
to
get
that.
there in a minute.
But if you're watching us this evening, if you're with us, give us a little cheeky share. Welcome to Wednesday night
Give
at
us a shout what you're
Finnegan's.
drinking.
What
are we on, Tom?
Where? I don't know. You poured it.
It's Tiger.
Tiger beer.
Yeah, Indian beer.
That's the only thing you can drink when you go out for a curry, isn't it? Tiger beer.
That's what you
classic.
should have, yeah.
That's what you
Classic
should have.
Tiger beer.
So
cheers. Cheers.
Great to have you watching.
Give us a
And-
shout what you're drinking.
Yep, and where you are. So this is Wednesday night at Finnegan. So the idea behind this podcast is me and Allan are both Baptist ministers.
And we're both bored. So what we thought was we'd do something that we like doing.
There we go.
Yeah, that was it, wasn't it?
Great.
Or is there another reason? Was that just my reason?
That's your reason.
Oh, okay, sorry. Yeah, okay.
But basically we thought what we enjoy doing is getting together in the pub with our mates
Yeah.
for a couple of drinks and
Yeah.
to just chat. And
And
what's great about being in the pub is you just solve all the problems of the world in a couple of hours.
And you don't need a script. You just turn up. You haven't seen someone for a few weeks. That doesn't matter. You don't fall out. You're not asking where they've been or anything like that. That's up to them if they want to tell you, isn't it?
It
You
is.
know what I mean?
It is.
Not the attendance police like in church.
No.
You know what I'm saying? No. We just literally, you pull up a stool at the table, you have a good chat, you talk about what you've seen on Netflix. We talk about football,
We do.
which I'm sure we'll get into tonight.
Yeah.
We talk, and you just put the world tonight.
That's great.
It's
So we're
boss.
going to do that tonight. And tonight we've actually got the man, the legend, Andy Kind with us.
Really excited.
Fantastic guest. Frankly, I don't know why he's doing this.
No, neither do I.
I don't know why. I don't know why he's doing
He's far too big for this
this.
podcast.
He looks slightly confused that he's here. I don't know if he agreed to this. And then
It's a bit like, am I allowed to say something?
you can speak. Go on. We're
It's
throwing
a bit
straight
like,
in.
you know, that scene in Goodfellas where Joe Pesci thinks he's been a made man.
Yeah.
He gets executed in a back room. That's how it feels for me.
Well, I think you've got the vibe down.
Yeah, that's it.
That is pretty much
You've
what it's
nailed
going to
it.
be like.
You've nailed it. Yeah, we had Vino in. He's a good mate of Vino's.
Yes.
So
I
for
thought he
those-
would have given you the heads up after he'd been on not to do this.
Well, he did, but then he went mysteriously missing. And
We had one funny thing, Andy. Someone literally came in on the chat and said, "Who is Tony Vino?" I've never heard of him.
yeah, I've never yet had it solved either. I've known him for
He is
20
an enigma.
years.
He's an enigma, isn't he, Tony?
But he
Well,
a
also
mystery.
did have we did get people that evening who'd come just for Tony Vino.
of course we did, yeah.
Yeah, so
we had
it's
the one
obviously-
fella, didn't we?
he
I
did.
forget his name.
I
Became
think
a
it's Dan.
stalker to me. Yeah. He, like, tried to add me on Facebook and everything. I was like, no, Dan, sorry,
He
mate.
did remember his name.
No, you just said it.
Oh,
You
okay.
just said
All
it,
right.
yeah.
Fantastic. So let's see who's in. Ray's in this evening.
Evening.
Pete's in. Nice to see you. Josh is in and he's
Cheers.
drinking Yorkshire tea.
Oh, well done, Josh.
I think Josh, he's actually got COVID, Josh. So that's, I thought we were past all that. That's,
Who cares anyway?
yeah. Anyway, Miriam, lovely to have you in, Miriam.
Hello,
Nice to
Miriam.
see you. Tao's in. All right, Tao. How
Tal,
you doing, Janet?
How's the training going, Tal?
Yeah, she's doing. If you don't know, Tao's doing a fundraiser for us to get us our holidays basically to America.
Yeah.
And so
So we can go and see the other Finnegan's bar in Minnesota, isn't
that's it.
Yeah.
And
Well,
she's frankly, she works at the community grocery
It's
at
going
our
to take
church.
us a while to get there, isn't it, frankly?
She's they do Greg's deliveries every day, and I don't.
She's not running far.
She's not right.
She runs after the Greg's van.
Sorry, Tal.
Sorry, Tal. She's not. She's good, isn't she?
She's lovely, Tal.
We're only
She is
messing,
lovely.
Tal. Yeah.
So last week, well, not last week, a couple of weeks ago, we had Mr. Sam Ward from the Message Trust
We did.
come on, and
We
you
did.
know,
I watched from
Cyprus.
Yeah.
Very good. It was
Yeah,
a good night.
Watched you,
Steve Cookson was co-hosting.
giving
It was
me a
very
little
good.
bit of stick and all that.
We give you.
You give me plenty.
I'll give you stick to your face, mate.
Yeah, no,
It's not a problem
yeah,
here.
don't
I'll
worry
do it
about
behind your back and to your face.
Honestly, I tell you what, you took liberties.
Well,
You did.
you're back now.
Like you do when I'm always away. You always take liberties.
You know what? Alan left me with his house key. And this is how you know Alan's getting on a little bit. He said, can he have the house key back? I gave it to him. He was like, this isn't my house key.
Well, it wasn't.
This isn't my house key.
That
So I had
wasn't
to
my
walk
house
up
key.
to the door,
No.
take him by the hand, put it in the kit there, and open it up and go, there you go, Grandad.
No,
In you go.
that's not what happened. What happened was he gave me this key, which just wasn't my house key. It was totally different, right? And he said, that's it. And I went, that's not my house key. And then he showed me a bunch of keys and went, well, which one's yours? I went, well, I don't know, do I? But it's not that one. And then we got there and he opened the door with one of them keys, yeah. Was the first one he used.
You'll be pleased to know he made it home safely.
I did. In Cyprus.
Barbara's saying, is Alan still wearing his holiday shorts? You'll have noticed this. Alan has a pair of swimming trunks for every day of the holiday. I've never known a man who does that. There's something not right there.
It's not me, it's my wife. She literally packs, if we're there for 14 days,
Yeah.
I'll have 14 different pair of swimming trunks. Seriously, I'm not messing.
She's
I
looking
might have
after you, isn't
15
she?
just in case I have a mishap.
Oh, here we go. Debbie said she'd do a fundraiser for us. Thank you, Debbie. We really want to go to America, to Minnesota.
So it's a big fundraiser, Debbie.
So, yeah, you'd have to.
You've got to pull your finger out, Deb.
Pete says that he wants to co-host. So he's just throwing his hat.
No, just, yeah.
Pete, Alan's basically
I'm
gets to
about
do
2
this.
weeks away from another holiday, probably, according to Tom. So
He gets to do this because it's his house. But if you've got a front room, you can be the co-host, mate. Anyway, sorry. I feel...
secret location.
Sorry, yeah. Andy, we do... I don't know... where are you from, Andy? You're Manchester, aren't you?
No.
Okay.
We've had this conversation already this evening, Tom.
Okay, where are you from, Andy?
Well, no, if you're not going to listen the first time, you
I wasn't
you don't
here.
deserve to know.
I wasn't here at the time, was I?
I'm from Newcastle under Lyme, which is where I live at the moment.
I thought you said Stoke-on-Trent.
It's the same place.
He doesn't listen, does he? 'Cause
Well,
he did know what you said.
Newcastle under Lyme is where the colliery owners used to live.
Okay.
So the
Very good.
posh part.
Yeah, the posh part. Yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
So
He's a posh brummy.
the Liverpool...
It's not
It's
Birmingham.
not Birmingham.
I know. It's that way, isn't it? Midlands.
You said Manchester, you said Birmingham. I'm literally in between those two places.
Wow.
Do they have banter where you come from?
No,
Because
he's a banter person.
this is...
person.
You into the banter... You know, like...
Oh,
if
well,
you-
I love banter
Yeah.
as a comedian.
Yes.
But, like, you know, for me, as someone who's done comedy for 16 years, banter is a series of spontaneous vignettes looking to draw out comedy from a situation. It's not just calling your mate a gay, which is what most people think banter is.
He's already overstepped the line further than Vino did. How did he manage that?
No, I'm doing satire. I'm critiquing
Very
the
good.
zeitgeist.
Very good. Well, that's what we've been trying. We're trying to perfect the art of banter here.
Well, Tom, see where Tom comes from. He doesn't
Yeah.
get it.
We don't
So
do
for
banter so
Tom,
much.
It's just insult. So he
Yeah.
feels insulted.
Yeah.
And he thinks he's insulting people when we're having a little bit of banter.
Well, yeah, there is a fine line, isn't there?
yeah,
Like,
there is.
I
But in-
find like people know you're bantering if you're like doing this. So
Yeah.
oh
Jazz hands.
yeah, jazz hands it draws you back from insulting people into the safe arms
Safe
of
space.
banter.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's good.
well, in Liverpool, it's just part and parcel of them liking you.
Yeah.
So if they're giving you a little bit of stick, it's probably because they like you,
Yeah.
rather than the opposite of, they're just getting into you. But a lot of this nugget here, he's
Yeah.
like,
But banter, like if we want to have a serious conversation about it, I'm not saying you do want to, but I'm
We
here
do.
and I
You
don't
do.
know where I am or for how long. I feel like I have to give a message to the Prime Minister at some point. I am being treated very well. Please let my family know that I love them very much.
and I am guilty of everything I say.
Yeah, if you're looking for money, I don't have money. What I do have is a particular set of skills.
Hey.
So banter is a given forth. Like
Yeah.
if it's a dialogue, then that's banter. If it's just one person like
Yeah, that
insulting, then
becomes,
that is just an insult. And I
Yeah.
get it all the time. Like people who I don't know because will make fun of the fact that I'm bald or something. I'm 40 years old. I'm allowed to be bald now, but
Yeah.
that is just an insult. I was in this. I went to Yo Sushi. Have you heard of Yo
Yeah,
Sushi?
I have.
Yeah. had a date night at Yo Sushi because nothing says romance more than taking raw fish off a conveyor belt, does it? We went to Yo Sushi, and this woman I haven't seen for 20 years sees me. She comes over to me. She says, "Oh dear, Andy. Oh dear, you've gone bald, haven't you? Oh dear." I was like, "Well, yeah. Thanks for pointing out. Yes, we've all changed in 20 years. I didn't say to you, your moustache is coming on nicely, did I? So
you could. I mean, it would just not be. That's a thing for men as well. I think it wouldn't be fair to comment on a woman's appearance in that same way, would it?
No, you don't get away with it as much.
I would never call a woman bald.
No.
I'd never date a bald woman.
No.
I might. Well, I won't.
We'd look like twins. It's like right said, Fred had reformed.
The Mitchell twins.
Very good. Good.
We went on about why you're wearing that.
Oh, yes. So I made a... Do you know what? Sam fantastically brought some wonderful, wonderful merch from the message, including this top for our nugget of the week.
Yeah. And a snapback or
and
something.
a snapback, which I've not attempted
just a
to wear.
cap.
With a straight peak.
It's just a cap.
And that says higher. But if you look, I've nicked the top.
You've nicked everything.
Do you know what? I put it on and my daughter said, it looks like you've got muscles. And I've worn it every day since.
It doesn't. Looks like you got breasts.
That's the standard look now.
Oh, is it? Okay.
You look like it then. You look like you're part of a human version of Play Your Cards Right.
Well, do you know what? We have done Play Your Card Right. So that could have been perfect, couldn't it?
Higher
I-
than Tom.
If you get one saying lower and I get one saying higher, I think that would be fun. That would be a fun night. Yeah. Dan's in. Dan, I hope you arrived here later than when Alan started giving you some banter. Although that means you're part of the family now. That means you're part of the Finnegans family.
So why didn't you give this out to the Nuggets of the Week? That's what my question is.
So
when I'm not here, you just go to pieces.
I lost my head. I did lost my head when you're not there. You fill the gaps when I'm...
Yeah.
Because, you normally talk on top of me all the time, jumping in.
Apparently.
You fill those gaps. It gives me time to think. And so the wheels came off. I didn't even give the prize away.
The wheels have fallen off.
So it's like a rollover.
And also signs of ending. Start to sing again, Tom. Come on.
It's a rollover week.
A rollover.
Nugget of the week. And so rollover. So you're not only going to get a higher snapback and a piece of nougat all the way from Cyprus.
Hang on. We haven't done that with Andy yet. Pass us one of them. Okay, Andy, this is the ultimate test in Finnegan's Bar.
Okay.
What is that?
I went to private school.
Okay.
Oh, so we know what you're going to say.
It started well.
What is it?
It's nougat.
Oh.
Yes! And there it is.
I used to like Andy.
Yeah.
It's not nougat.
It is, though.
But it's not.
Nougat.
Thank you, Andy. And I appreciate the French accent, my friend.
We are not French, and that doesn't say nougat.
No, but it's allowed.
Nougat, it says, if anything, nougat. But we call it nugget.
It's not an English word, though, is it? Nougat.
No.
Well, there's no R in it.
No, but it's art.
I know you've got a degree in
modern
literature
languages
and all that type of stuff.
Well, that puts
I know
it to
all
bed
that.
then.
I know
puts
that.
It to bed.
But it's just not. It's nugget.
Okay, fine. Well, I mean, I'm on your turf, aren't I? And
Yeah.
When in Rome.
You're the one with the padlock keys.
Do you know what? People feel really passionate about this, Andy. So straight away, literally,
who's on?
Josh and Ray have
Andy's
both
a
instantly
Tory.
responded with Andy as a Tory. And whereas Debbie just thinks you're a nugget.
Oh, right.
And my dad says hooray. Hooray.
Hooray.
Hooray. Hooray, chaps.
I'm just looking up the origin story.
Pete,
We've had the origin stories. We've had all Tom's excuses about what it is. But it's nugget.
that's it. So you can win all those things tonight, but also one of...
Oh, yeah.
Do you know what? We've got a certain caliber of guest in tonight when they've written their own book.
Yeah.
So we've got...
He's wrote a few, not just... This is his latest.
Wow.
This is his latest book.
This is hidden in plain sight, and we're going to ask Andy about this book a little bit later, but you've got a chance to win this and a snapback, so you can wear your snapback.
Hang on, what about the top?
You can't have the top.
In fairness, I don't think you want it. I don't think you want it.
You can't wash things. Do you know what? That's the problem we're finding.
What?
Can't wash things when it's tipping it down.
Why can't you?
Well, you can't dry them, and you can't do
why
it
you dry
because you can't put the heating on in the house either.
You need a heated airer.
I've seen those, and I
No, they're good.
Are they?
Yeah.
My
And they sort of heat up your room as well.
so it's dual purpose. Heated air. That'd be good in church merch, wouldn't it? Maybe we can get one of those.
Yeah,
Church
you
merch.
never know. I don't know what it is.
It's like an airer, but do you put a bag over
Yeah, it's
it
like
and then heat
it's
it?
like an indoor clothes horse, but you plug it in and it's got a very low wattage.
Okay.
But it does dry your clothes, and again, the sort of the latent heat
Gels
warms
out
up.
into the room as well.
You could put some nougat on it, and it would melt that beautifully into a fondue.
Very good.
We've got some nuggets that I brought home from Cyprus.
So that's what the prize is for tonight. So if you don't know how to play Nugget of the Week basically is the person who has the best comment of the week wins the prize. And tonight they're going to get snapback.
I mean, Andy's Atori's already up there.
It's
isn't
up
it?
there.
Yeah.
And Towels put, I don't even know, I shouldn't want to read this. Towels are always filthy. Towels put, no one wants Tom's sweaty tit top. Do you know what? I don't want to join the gym, so I don't know what my options are. Anyway.
I could say so much there, but I better not.
Okay, right. Oh, no, Andy. My wife Emma's watching. She's put Tom, she's asked for one of those before, those heated air things. And I've thus far managed to not buy one.
Well, no, she's a woman of taste.
Yeah, so they might have to get one of those now.
Well.
And Pete's just said that's defo a Tory contraption. We have such a hostile.
Well, they're hardcore, aren't they?
They are.
It's better than
Hardcore
one of those
members.
leftist errors, though, that burns your house down if you don't agree with it.
Them fundamentalist eras.
Yeah.
One of them.
Very good. Very good. Oh, and Dawn said they take so much electric. Thank you, Dawn. That could be comment of the week. Because I like that.
The era does.
The eras.
They take so much electric.
I don't know.
No.
You don't think so,
I just
Andy?
don't think that's just not what I was told.
It doesn't matter. Do you believe everything you're told, Andy?
Now that I think about it, I don't know that. Yes.
Do you have an air?
I was told this would be fun.
That was by Vino, though.
Yeah.
You should have known
I
better.
feel like we're on like QVC after hours at the moment.
That's it. Oh, maybe we could make some money doing that.
What? Selling
stuff.
Snapbacks.
Snapbacks.
Yeah. How much do you want it for? We
Yeah.
can get loads of these. We know where they keep them in the store cupboard.
They do.
Yeah.
So you could, if someone would give us a fiver for that,
No, a bit more.
bit more.
Yeah.
Tenner.
Tenner for the snapback. Is that to you?
Yeah.
Oh, fiver then.
Fiver.
Fiver for the snapback. We'll get a load out the message, trust.
Andy, I feel like you're going to be one of these people who has a Air Ninja fryer thing. Do you have one of those bad boys?
No, not yet.
Okay.
But I've just bought myself a nice sort of grill pan and a burger shaper. I started making my own burgers, so I've got myself a sort of hand. I've put a hand mint. I've asked Father Christmas for a hand mincer.
Yeah.
And I've got myself a burger shaper.
Oh, I like that.
Oh,
I love
amazing.
a burger. And is it one of those what you put the meat on and then you smash it down?
Well, no, so they work in tandem. So you've got the
Okay.
hand mincer, you put the steak in, and you mix it with the stuff, and you turn it into a mince.
Nice.
And then obviously you've got your own hand minced, and then you shape it in the burger template. Basically, it's like a
Nice.
mold, like a jelly
Yeah.
mold, but for burgers. So like homemade burgers, they often just look a bit rough around the edges.
Yeah.
It prevents that.
Very good.
Like handmade, I don't do anything. I don't eat anything. I don't cook anything that I don't have to cook
You
myself.
can't kill.
I don't. Yeah. I will feast tonight. I don't like any kind of processed food. Like next year, I'm even thinking about getting my own pasta grinder, pasta mill.
Andy, I think we're going to get on famously tonight. And
Oh,
Andy is
well.
also an Arsenal fan.
Here we go.
Saliva.
Woohoo! And Arsenal.
I might not last long tonight.
Do you know what?
I
It's
might get
hilarious as well. My mate Sam Ward brought over a friend who's in South Africa, part of the Message Trust in South Africa. For his 60th birthday, he dreamt of coming to Anfield. Dreamt of visiting Liverpool.
Yeah,
The
go on,
team he
carry on,
supported.
carry on.
Even though he lives not in Liverpool.
Yeah, well, you don't live in Arsenal, do you?
Well,
So there you go.
I did live down south.
You didn't live in Arsenal, though,
Well,
did you?
where
You didn't
is
live
Arsenal?
in London,
Where
did you?
is Arsenal?
You didn't live in North London, did you?
Pipe down.
You didn't.
And the,
You were in Hampshire. So shut up.
just mute that mic there for a second. And basically, he'd come all this way to see
The mighty
Liverpool
Reds.
play. It's his dream, 60th birthday.
Yeah.
And he got to see them lose to Leeds.
Yeah, and then
He did go and watch the Napoli game.
he went and watched the Napoli game on
And
Tuesday, didn't he?
They surprised us all.
They
didn't
surprised us all. No, that's what we do, lad.
Andy's book is called Hidden in Plain Sight. Someone has asked already, Andy. And
He has a number of them here, but you could win one.
You
You
could
can
win
buy
one
them
tonight,
if you
and
want. I
we'll
think they're
tell-
about £5 each.
where can
are
they buy
I
them,
think?
Andy? Let's just get the plug
Yeah.
in straight away. Where can they buy them, mate?
Well, they can buy them. You can get the Kindle version on Amazon.
Nice.
Probably the easiest thing to do is to find me on Facebook at the moment and ask me. standrewsbookshop.co.uk is the best place
Nice.
to get them. But so maybe we can put a link.
We will.
There.
We will.
In fact, I sent you a link, didn't I, Tom?
You did.
So you could just put that link up.
If
Maybe
We'll talk about that later, but
Yeah,
that's
we'll
where you
talk
can
about
get it
it.
if you want to get it. Yeah. So
What's been happening? How was your holiday, Alan? How did you get on?
it was great. We went on holiday. We went for 2 weeks, and then we had our daughter's wedding, Becky, which had been cancelled twice. I honestly thought that the lad would actually see that as a sign,
Yeah.
but no, he still married her, and it was great. We had 65 people turn up at this place in Cyprus. So
65 people flew
lots of people
out to Cyprus to be part of this
people,
wedding.
all
That's
at
amazing, isn't it?
different sort of length stay, you know.
Yeah.
But when they were all there for the wedding, it was a bit chaotic
Yeah.
in the hotel. I don't think the hotel knew what had hit them, you know, with people jumping in the indoor fountains and swimming in them, and
Wow.
that was just Joyce. She'd be fuming now. It wasn't her.
Okay.
It was our Becky's boss.
Was it?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So
Very good.
So yeah, no, it was great, and the weather was great. Everyone got on. It was a good laugh, and then the day after the wedding, literally the day after the wedding, there was a monsoon for 2 days, like a tornado hit the beach further up. But yeah, it was boss. Really liked it, and then on holiday we got talking. Got talking to Rachel Taylor. Janet might be in, so Janet, if Janet's in, her daughter Rachel. And we were talking. She was talking about her job and that, and how she wants her life to make a difference, matter, you know. And we ended up talking a lot about the Finnegan's bar in Minnesota that we want to go and see, and that I've been sort of saying I wish they'd open one here.
Yeah.
Because if you don't know the story, it's where they make beer and they sell it, and the profits goes to feeding the poor. That's the basic story. You can read about it a bit more, but I think that's a great concept. And I was telling them about it, and she said, why don't we open one here? Right? So, and then another fella called Neil, he was listening, and he said, I'll help you do that. So, so we've gone from being Finnegan's Bar
Yeah.
to Finnegan's Brewery.
Wow.
So we're opening a brewery, Tom. I don't know whether you knew that.
This is I'm involved in this.
Yeah, well, you're involved. You can be a silent partner. That means shut up. Right?
I got added to another WhatsApp group. but
Yeah.
I just muted it for a year as soon as I saw you had added me.
So yeah, we're gonna open a microbrewery at first.
Wow.
And we're gonna because it'll be small at first. What we're gonna do is we're gonna make some beer. We're gonna sell the beer, and at least 50% of the profits are gonna go towards stocking our community shops so that people can have them cheap shops but better value for money.
It's so good. So
That's the early plan.
so
You know that's how Guinness started.
Yes, I mean, someone I had a interview this week with someone, and they were like, "Can I just pick you up on that?" And they said, "We have people with addictions in our churches and all that. So what do you say to them?" And I went, well, you do know evangelical Christians started Guinness and Whitbread, and that the Anglican Church also had its own range of pubs called the Mitre. So whenever you see the Mitre, that was owned by the Anglican Church. And monks used to make beer and feed the poor with it. We're just going backwards to that in some ways. You're not getting rid of beer, you know, so let's use it for something good.
Yeah.
That was my idea. And I'm useless at business sides of stuff. But these two people, thankfully,
They're on it.
They're really clever.
They're really on
that's
it.
really good. They're really on it. So Finnegan's Brewery is
It's going to
thing.
happen. It's going to be a thing.
I mean, presumably it won't replace communion wine on a Sunday.
oh,
So
that's a whole market we didn't even think about.
We didn't know because we'd have to be Finnegan's Vineyard then as well.
What does it have? Well, I don't know. Does it have to be bread and wine? I've heard some
controversial.
I know. Let's not get into that.
also, it's ridiculous, isn't it? You know, the people who say, "Oh, well, we've got people with addictions in our church." So what do you say to them? Well, you know, I've got people in my church who are gluten intolerant. Are they not allowed to go for communion?
There you go.
Are we not allowed to do that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, you smashed it there, Andy.
Some people have like gluten bread, that that stuff that sticks to the roof of your mouth. That stuff.
Yeah.
Horrible.
Gross.
Yeah.
People are loving the idea of the brewery, mate.
Andy.
Ray's wanting an IPA. I don't know if you can do. Can you make any of this beer? Or you're gonna have to learn fast,
We're
aren't
going to
you?
have to find out, aren't we?
Very good.
We're going to need a bigger pub.
Yeah, Josh wants more holidays. These business ideas, you're firing them out when you obviously were just in a
I had
very relaxed.
I had a couple of ideas, but that's the main one.
I can
Very
get
good.
some. I can make some burgers for you. Ship them over.
Oh,
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Burger and beer night.
wow.
Finnegan's Bar and Grill.
Oh, it's a thing. It's a thing. Pete's saying
Smashing.
every Sunday becomes bring your own beer. Well, no, Pete, you could only drink Finnegan's.
Yeah.
Sorry,
No,
Pete.
you'll have to purchase
Don't try and
Finnegan's
smuggle
because
that
then
in,
you're
mate.
helping the poor, not some rich conglomerate.
Do you know what though? I would. Wow. Do you know what? That could be amazing, couldn't it? If
Yeah.
so, make it happen. Let's make it happen.
No, what's going to happen? It might be pretty. We're going to start pretty small.
Yeah.
Obviously, we can't just suddenly. They cost a fortune to buy a brewery, and we can't. We're still trying to pay for the.
We're
podcast,
still trying to pay for this roadcaster thing because the Baptists binned us off when we
yeah,
should
the
have won the
Baptist
competition.
Insurance Company. Let's name them.
We've forgiven them, but
I haven't.
only because you have to.
No, I haven't.
No,
I'm still processing. myself.
But so
I'm still paying for it.
Joyce is paying. We put it on her credit card.
Yeah, but it's my credit card as well, isn't it? So So anyway, so it'll start small, but
Yeah.
it'll actually, hopefully, it'll grow.
Yeah.
And that's why not all the profits are going to go towards, in case anyone asks me, but it'll be a minimum of 50% because we need to then grow it. If it kicks off and it takes off, it needs to grow. So we need to invest in more equipment and whatever. So there you go.
I love it. You talking about it as if you like know what you're saying.
I know.
But like we've got Rachel on
Turns
board.
into
though,
Richard Branson, haven't we?
Yeah, I mean, this could be a thing, can it?
Yeah.
This could be massive.
No, Rachel and Neil are right
clever.
on it. Yeah.
They're clever.
right on
They
it, yeah.
seem very
They're switched
on it. So it's going to happen, and we're going to be all the profits to helping people out who was going through tough times. Love it.
50%.
Oh, yeah,
Minimum.
50%.
Yeah.
Okay, very good. Well,
Oh.
I think we should formally welcome our special guest this week. Then
Yeah.
he's already been here in spirit, but I'm going to give him a big round of applause and say, Andy, formally welcomed to Finnegan's Bar.
Great to be here.
It is. It's great to have you, mate. Yeah. I mean, how do you two? Obviously, me and Andy have bonded very quickly.
Yeah.
But how did you guys meet?
Well, I could say how we met.
Go on then.
That was literally the question.
That was what
Well,
I
I
asked.
didn't know whether he was asking you or me.
Well,
He was sort of looking at
Well,
me,
he was,
but he
I was
does that
looking
a
at
lot.
you, but
I was
talking
looking
to me. Yeah.
Yeah.
directly at you, like eyeballing you.
Was yeah.
I was like throwing it up. Like
I
an
don't
easy
even
hit.
remember, so
He's
you'll have
acting
to.
hard. He's acting hard because he thinks he's got the Arsenal crew here.
Wait,
All I know is that
Saliba.
All I know is that I washed up on a shore about 15 years ago, and like as my vision came back to me, he was just standing over me
We met.
with a conch.
We met in a coffee shop in Manchester.
Very good.
Did we?
We did, yes, because I wanted to interview you for my dissertation
Yes,
about Christians in comedy.
I remember now.
Yes, and we met in a coffee shop, and we talked about
Saliba.
And I don't know whether I should say this because it might get you into a little bit of trouble. But
Oh,
No, you can. I don't care about being in trouble.
don't you? Because I interviewed a few people. So Tim Vine, Milton Jones, and Milton Jones was fuming. He was fuming.
Was he?
Because you give me his personal email address, and you said, "Oh, he'll be fine." And I've emailed him, and he went, "Who give you this email address?" And I went, "I'm not telling you." Don't worry, he won't be watching this.
He knows now.
He won't be watching this. It's
I was
fine.
with him at the weekend, actually. I'm so
Yeah,
glad that this didn't go out last week.
And he said, and I went, "I'm not telling you." And he went, "No, who give you this email address?" And I went, I'm not telling you. Just answer me questions and I'll never bother you on it again. And I haven't, in fairness.
Yeah.
So
He did answer the questions, though, didn't he?
he did answer them, yeah. Yeah, he was a little bit weird in the way he answered them. He was
Just look straight down the barrel of the camera and read his email address out.
So, yeah, Milton was fuming with you, although we didn't know it was you.
Yeah.
He's,
So you're
he's
all right.
good, though, Milton, isn't he? Were
He's
you...
better than good. He's great.
He's great. Was he supporting you, Andy?
Yeah. No, we did this amazing gig in Benfleet.
I seen that on Facebook.
Yeah, it was great. It was me, Milton Jones, Pat Monahan, and Paul Carenza. It was just, it was. You didn't need that many people on the bill. Like,
That's a full bill, isn't it? Quality.
But it was brilliant. I compared, so I hosted it, and it was just lovely to be able to watch them all do their stuff. And I think actually, after 16, 17 years of doing this as a living, you no longer feel anxious about doing it. You don't get to the stage. The length of time I've done it without knowing that you can do the job. And so you stop worrying and you actually just start enjoying watching your friends doing really well. It's just great because most of my gigs are my own tour, my own show on my own. To be able to hang out with people in the green room is great.
Yeah, but you, in fairness to you as well, Andy, I mean, we can talk about the Super God Comedy Squad in a bit. But you do encourage people, even when you're doing your own tour, you have people come and do 10 minutes, 5 minutes, depending on what their ability is, just to give them stage time and a gig and a bit of a crowd. And
I've tried to do that. I mean, in the early days, it meant I didn't have to fill as much time of my own.
And you don't have to pay the people who are doing it now, do you?
I've seen you, and you don't need to fill time.
Not anymore.
You've got loads of material.
Yeah.
In fact, most of the time you're like Ken Dodd. Get him off.
Yeah. My record is 2 hours without a break.
Yeah.
Wow.
Exactly.
And that was Stephen Cookson's first ever gig.
Was it?
Yeah.
How long did he have?
He did very badly.
Did he?
It was his first ever gig, and he was very bad. He's brilliant now, but he was Steve, mate, you know it. I love you, but you were terrible. So I had to go on and do 2 hours
to recover,
just so that people wouldn't ask for their money back.
What I'm trying to get at is he tries to encourage people. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
So, although you said in the beginning it might have filled a bit more time for you.
Yeah,
you don't do that now for that reason. You still have people come on the road with you.
Yeah.
It might be a bit of company, but it also encourages them.
And there's lots of one of the nice. Although I've reached a decent level myself in terms of sort of success and profile, I'm probably more successful in who I've helped in those early days.
Yeah.
Wow. So I won't mention names, but there's quite a number of comedians who are quite famous who I tried to mentor a little bit in their early days. So it's as much about serving other people as it is about being served.
Yeah. So how did you get into comedy in the first place? What made you want to be a comedian? Because I thought you went to be in the army at one point. Is that?
No, that's not true. That's just a joke.
That's just a joke.
It's just a joke. Yeah.
Wow, you do that well.
Yeah. I say that I come from so the joke is I say I come from a military family. Yeah. I say my dad was in the army. My granddad was wounded by a German. On holiday in Alicante in the 1980s, emotionally wounded, really. But no, I don't come from a military family.
Right, okay.
But I was in the Army Cadets.
We haven't asked him about himself, have we? Really?
Well, it's fine. I don't mind. I'm so flexible. I'm so malleable. We can go in.
Yeah, it'll all come out in the wash.
Yeah, it'll come out in the wash. We go in whichever direction you want. I'm fine.
Tell us how you got into the comedy then.
Yeah, so I came out of university. And I think I'd always expected at the end of university to know what I wanted to do and to have a sense, okay, this is what I do now. But I didn't have that. I didn't have a calling or a vocation. I knew I loved making people laugh and I wanted to be a comedian, but I didn't know any comedians and I didn't come from a family of entertainers or circus freaks. Or anything like that.
So the large head doesn't come from that then. I'm only messing.
Bearded lady.
Sorry. Bearded lady. Yeah. Sorry, go on.
Carry on.
I don't think you can say bearded lady in 2022.
What do you have to say?
I don't know.
Give us an alternative at least.
No, don't. It could go south.
No. I don't want to get you guys cancelled. And so I came out of university and didn't really know what to do. And then, as luck would have it, I became a Christian. And
how don't leave, yeah, we want to know how that happened.
well, just a number of different things. I'll tie it into talking about the book later, maybe.
Great,
but
great.
Yeah, I think I'd like my parents are Christians. I come from a Christian family, but I'd never really been that interested or bothered.
Yeah.
I was the only thing that really interested me at that age was, can I take crew to the Champions League final on Football Manager? Those were the those are the big things.
I played so many hours on Championship Manager. That was just time well spent.
Never did
Absolutely.
it myself.
But I also,
it's not wasted.
No,
the
nothing's
idea that
wasted.
those moments of joy are not
Yeah.
wasted. And so when I became a Christian, I suddenly thought, okay, well, maybe this desire I've had burning inside me all along to do comedy, maybe that's not random.
Okay.
Maybe there's something that has been planted in me.
Yep.
So I thought I'd try it out. And so 23rd of January 2005, I went down to Bath,
Nice.
the Portocella bar. I did 10 minutes and did surprisingly well. I'd probably watch it back now and cringe, but at the time it felt like I'd done really well. And I think if I hadn't done well, I might not have got on stage a second time. Lots of people try comedy. Most people only try it once.
Yeah.
And that was it then. And so I just did a lot of open spots, which is unpaid spots.
Yeah.
Those nervous guys you see in the middle at comedy clubs. And then over time, I started to
Allan, you mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Nervous GT semi-finalist Alan Finnegan.
Tried it once.
I did
Tried
try
it
and
once.
smashed it out of the park.
Tried it once. Never did it again.
Never
Yeah.
did it again.
Yeah.
I was wise enough to know
Yeah.
get out while you can.
Get out while you're on top.
That's it.
You weren't quite on
No,
top.
I wasn't, but I
The
got out.
heckler made you
You're like
that
the
night.
Roberto Di Matteo of
Yeah,
comedy.
that's it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Won the
Definitely.
Champions League having
Totally.
taken over mid-season, and that was it.
That
And
was
then
it.
got off.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And then I started to become known as someone who's quite good at banter. So I used to get quite a lot of comparing, hosting gigs. And then after the first couple of years, I'd met Tony Vino by this point, and we decided we'd like to do stuff for churches to help bring people in and, help with their outreach, I suppose.
Nice.
But also get gigs that no one else was going to get.
Yeah.
So it wasn't a totally selfless act. So we started something called the Isaac Project, where it was the two of us. We'd go around. We didn't have any material, so we'd do 15 minutes each, and then there'd be a break, and then we'd do both of us on stage in the second half. So the whole show was only about an hour in total, and we weren't very good. But again, there was grace and favour over it.
You had no competition.
No, exactly. No one else was
so
doing
you
it.
were brilliant.
Yeah.
Compared to the
Yeah,
competition.
no one else was really doing it. Paul Carenza was doing it, and John Archer was doing some church stuff. But apart from that, no one was really doing it. And then it just grew and grew and grew. And up until the point of the pandemic, that was really my bread and butter, and starting to get that back again now.
You've got a book that you wrote about this journey, haven't you?
Stand Up and Deliver, my
Stand
first ever
Up
book.
and Deliver,
yeah.
yeah. If you want to,
Very
if
good.
anyone wants to
It's
know
the first
the
book
story
I
in
wrote,
depth,
yeah.
Great.
How many have you wrote now?
5.
Show off.
Yeah. But if you consider, I'm supposed to be a writer and I've been doing this about 16 years, 5 isn't that many, really. I'm very lazy.
Yeah, according to my car insurance, I'm a writer as well. But
We've got some.
what?
Mark Williams is in tonight.
What?
He's
Sparky.
Oh, Sparky Mark.
Mark's one of the first gig I ever saw you doing. Mark was supporting you, and that's how I got to know Mark. He's a good lad.
Mark's great.
He's saying
Wasn't
we're
that the one
both
for
in our
eating?
30s.
I'm no longer in my 30s. There was
Okay.
there was a moment because there's that line from The Office where Tim and David Brent are talking, and David Brent says, "Well, we're both in our 30s now," and Tim says, "Well, aren't you 30? I'm just 30. Aren't you 39?" So, well, we're both in our
We're both-
30s.
oh,
And
classic.
there was a point where Mark and I were just about both in
In
our
the
30s.
30s. Very good. Miriam saying she saw you in Liverpool and very much enjoyed it.
Oh, great.
So the fans are in. If you've got any,
Questions for them?
yeah. Wow, that was synchronicity.
Okay.
That was wonderful. So,
Sorry word.
yeah. If you've got any questions for Andy as he's chatting, just throw them up in the comments, and we'll do a whole load of questions for Andy as we go along. We'll pepper them in. But Alan, have you got a question for Andy? Yeah. Go on then.
So we've heard
Where's
how-
my petrol money from that
how did you
Southport gig?
how did you get into you got into comedy? Yeah, but You started something a while ago. You used to do writing retreats with just a couple of people, but then you decided again to encourage people and those who were starting off that you wanted to increase the number of people going, because it was basically a few years that were quite professional at the time, wasn't it? 3 or 4 years. And you started the Super God Comedy Squad, as it became known.
Yeah.
And tell us why and how you did that.
Well, comedy can be quite a lonely business. And when I started out, in terms of the Christians on the circuit, Milton and Tim were already famous. Jo Enright was already doing really well, although I didn't know her at the time. So Paul Carenza was the only person sort of within spitting distance of me, and Paul and I are great friends. But I think once I got a bit more established, I wanted to make sure that I could be within reach of these new acts, so that they could have a bit of mentorship. And I'm not someone who goes around mentoring people outside of comedy. I'm not a natural manager or anything like that. But I wanted to be a point of contact for people. And so it happened by chance a little bit when I did things that would make myself known as a Christian. You'd have people get in touch and say, "Oh, I'm a Christian. I'm thinking about going into comedy." People like Mark Williams, who I met by chance at a gig, but he'd read Stand Up and Deliver, and he said, "Oh, I'm a Christian as well." I said, "Great, well, come and support me at some gigs then." And then I think when you started out doing comedy, try to do a similar thing, because to me it's not about, you're not trying to win every match 5-0.
Yeah.
You don't get, you've got to go through the youth system, if you like to use the football terminology.
Yeah.
Unless you're Rooney, you don't go straight into the first team from 16 years of age. You've got to build and grow. And actually what I was able to provide people was stage time, 15 minutes. You don't get 15 minutes
Not at that level,
as a new act.
No.
So and then I thought, well, actually I can see this disparate group of people who don't really connect with one another, but we all have the same sort of aim and goal and passion. So I thought, let's get some of us together. So 2012 was the first ever writing retreat. There's a sort of 6 or 8 of us there, and it grew every year then until again 2019, which was the final one, when I think we had 23 there. And we're going to hopefully start it again next year. But it was just a week, Monday to Friday, where we could come together, have a laugh, drink some wine, and write some jokes and try it out amongst. Because actually, the other thing is that being around people who have the same world view as you, it gives you just freedom to be yourself without trying to put on an act or a facade. And we all have to put different hats on at different points and play a character, but it's nice to be able to say things in a safe environment. I don't mean like be really crude and stuff, but not have to be the sort of
you can try stuff out, can't you, in that environment that you might be, you wouldn't in other environments whether you would or not, and then people can say, well, or maybe you changed this, or I wouldn't say that, or you get to, it's a safe, well, I hate that saying, but it's a safe space.
But it is a safe space. And
for comedians, because often when you're a comedian, you think everything you say is funny. And as you know, Tom, it's not. It's that, it gives that space for people.
Yeah.
And you've been a real encouragement to some people. A lot of
some people.
A lot of
some people. Yeah.
A lot of people.
And so then it became known as the Ruth Carpenter is the lady who coined the term Super God Comedy Squad.
She wrote a book which was about dating someone once a month, wasn't it? Until she found Mr. Right. I don't know what it was called, but I remember reading some of the chapters of it, and it was a little bit Bridget Jones' Diary, but it was brilliant.
Yeah,
I thought it was absolutely brilliant, that book. And the funny thing is, she actually married the last fella.
She did, yeah.
Literally the 12th fella in the book. She actually ends up going on to marry him.
Yeah. Josh Carpenter.
They're divorced now, aren't they?
No, they're not divorced. Don't say things like that.
That's the sequel. She's got another great book in her. It's just 2 years away.
How to lose a guy in 12 years.
You can't say things like that.
Sorry. I take it back. Sorry.
Yeah.
What's your worst gig experience? Emma's just thrown that in. What's your worst gig
Oh,
experience?
thanks for nothing, Emma.
So many to choose from.
Glasgow 2010, I did a
Wow.
gig in a pub,
Yeah.
and I drove up there. I was living in Manchester at the time, so you weren't totally wrong, Tom. I used to live in Manchester.
Yes.
And I drove up there in my little Skoda Fabia, and there was nothing there. I went up to the landlord. There was no microphone, no stage. No, the audience consisted of an old man and a German Shepherd. That was I mean the breed of dog. When I say German Shepherd, by the way, a Bavarian sheepherder hadn't got really lost. So I said, where is everything, mate? Where's the equipment? I've driven for 5 hours. He said, we thought you'd bring your own.
No.
What, you thought I'd bring us a stage up from Manchester in a Skoda Fabia? He said, we thought you would.
They are quite roomy, those
Yeah,
Skodas.
he said, we thought you would. I said, that's not what happens. That's not what happens. What happens is I turn up to the gig. Everything else I need should already be there, prepared. In the same way, I don't waltz into Nando's with a chicken under my arm, do I? So basically, it was the old man and the German Shepherd went home for their tea, and they were replaced by a group of skin-headed Glaswegians who were regulars at the gig, and they hated English people. And so the moment what they did, they had pre-prepared, like Blue Peter, some heckling devices, missile devices. The moment they heard my English accent, they threw bottles of urine at the stage. Yeah. They call it Iron Brew in Glasgow, but
Wow.
but yeah, no. So that was the worst gig to have. Missiles of wee.
That is.
Did you finish your 20 minutes though? Did you soldier on?
No,
Did you get paid?
neither.
Neither happened.
It's a full run on the nose there.
Very good, very good.
Wow.
Mark Williams, Rubru, mate. What a legend. What's the even?
Rubru.
Is this secret friend code? What's Rubru?
Yeah.
Ruth
Bruce was her name.
Oh, sorry.
Maiden name. Now Ruth Carpenter.
Now Carpenter. Still Carpenter.
Happily married,
Yeah.
apparently.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
What's your worst gig? Ray said excluding tonight,
Yeah.
which is
I've done gigs with fewer people.
Yes, all right.
very good, very good. Okay, tell us. I noticed a while ago, Andy, from social media and stuff, that you'd made. There was sort of a transition not the transition, a change you'd made.
Well, it is 2022. You just don't know, do you?
We talked about bearded ladies.
We did.
But
I've decided, can I just say before you ask this important question?
Okay.
I've decided, you know how lots of people now have pronouns of choice?
Yes.
If I had to choose, well, obviously mine would be he, him. But given that pronouns are simply a grammatical term, I've decided that I've got adjectives of choice as well,
Okay.
which are legend/genius. So if you could honour my truth by referring to me in those terms at all times.
We did call you a legend.
We did,
Yeah.
right at the beginning.
We didn't
Okay.
say genius, though.
No,
we
but-
did say legend. So
Yeah.
sorry about that.
But this is my
For
truth,
offending
guys.
you.
So, yeah,
Okay.
adjectives of choice.
Yes. So legend, genius, Andy.
Yeah, thank you.
I can put it on a sticker on my top if you need me to.
Yes.
but-
Yes.
Yeah.
Please, with the
And-
3 stars from McDonald's that go above it.
That's the number of times I won the World Cup.
So you made
He made a word up. Are you going to say that?
Yeah, you became comedian, not only comedian, but you talked about this sense of destiny sounds grand, but destiny in the comedy. But you also then kind of said that it felt like that comedy had also led you into what we would call in the church preaching. You know, preaching, and so you're a promedian. You said sort of a mixture between a comedian and preaching,
Yeah.
and that felt like that was something that God had walked you into, and it felt. Talk to me about that then, because that's
Yeah.
an interesting.
Yeah, sure. Because I think, I wouldn't want to overplay some of the terminology. And so thanks, Tom, because you did very well to sort of just describe it in layman's terms. Everyone preaches at all times. Every time you share an opinion, you're essentially preaching. And I think that I think you were saying earlier, Alan, about wanting to make things count. And
Yeah.
doing comedy is great. I love it, and I've done it as a job for 16 years. But 2 weeks after you've done a gig in front of someone, they won't remember most of what you said, and 2 years later they won't remember your name or even that they saw you. And I just became increasingly aware of that, and I thought, well, what's the long-term gain in that? What's the legacy in that? And with preaching, it's possible to say things that will have eternal consequences for people.
Okay.
You know, you can introduce them to a good news story, a story of hope that they haven't heard before, and that can change their life forever.
Yeah.
And when people talk about the gospel just means good news. And the problem with a lot of sort of Christian preaching over the last X amount of years is that it hasn't sounded like good news. It sounded like, at best, good advice, but more like being told off or forced to do certain things. Through threat of punishment. Now, I'm not saying there aren't consequences. Yeah. Ultimately, if God is real and you have the option to spend eternity in his presence, whatever that means, there's only really two. You either will or you won't do that. Yeah. You know, there's absence of God and presence of God. Those are ultimately the two options. But I think I wanted to, having really experienced a life-changing joy when I became a Christian, when I felt God's love or understood God's love. I don't want to again overplay the sensation of it. For me, it's more about just knowing the truth of it rather than getting these weird feelings. Often feelings follow thoughts, don't we? So if you know there's a grizzly bear around the corner, you will feel scared. It's the feelings follow the thoughts. So I wanted to, I think, leave a bit of legacy, and I wanted to try and not just make people laugh, but when the mouth is open for laughter, you can shove in a bit of food for thought.
Nice.
And
nice.
So I wanted to do that. And whilst, the fact is that preaching and comedy are exactly the same template. Just the content is different, but the format is exactly the same. It's one person and a mic.
Yeah.
And so I'm not preachy when I do comedy, but I am trying to be funny when I'm preaching. And it's not totally selfless. I'm not saying, I just wanted to serve the Lord. Actually, I do want to do that, but I also want to make money to provide for my family. I also want to have a nice life. I also want to be known for doing good things and doing them well. So finding a niche, comedian is a word that I created. It's simply a preacher and comedian combined to give myself a bit of a unique selling point.
Nice.
Yeah. And that's borne some fruit.
Yeah. And it's interesting. I mean, it's interesting, I find, because Allan kind of did that the other way round, didn't he? In reverse, you were preaching and then fell into comedian as well. And there are those strong links. And that was part of what part of what Allan kind of, his research where he first met you, I guess, was around that idea that, people are saying preaching and talking about God publicly, in that manner, one person, one mic, that is a dead art form, no longer relevant. But I think, you found that you kind of proposed that comedy actually showed that was still a relevant point of view, but that actually is it something to do with the quality of the communicator? Or what are we talking about? What are we talking about here? Because I've had moments where I've preached or where I've listened to people preaching, and I would say, in my language, I would say I've sensed God's presence there. Like I felt like, again, terminology I'd use in the church, but like a holy moment. And I think even non-Christians or people can have had moments like that. Yeah. But I find that so compelling where there's someone who's so good at what they're doing and they're connecting and communicating something so well that it can be a moment where something divine takes place.
We chatted earlier about this, didn't we? And we said, preachers could learn loads from stand-up comedians, really loads in terms of communication, and particularly in today's context. It's almost like, why aren't these colleges that are teaching people this stuff, why aren't they leaning into it more? And I was saying to Andy he should write a course or something that he could offer to places that do that. But yeah, I mean, when I did it, I had to do compare and contrast the two, and there are slight differences to what it was, but I've actually started leaning towards being a comedian, not a preacher. Not in terms of going for gigs, I mean in church. And I don't mean making people laugh. I mean the way you do it, the way you deliver it, the way I said earlier, instead of saying something 3 times anymore, use a callback. Yeah. Because it has much more of an effect.
Satisfying, a lovely callback.
But I think also, what people want is to be, there's a guy called Augustine, a Christian guy, hundreds and hundreds of years ago, who said that preaching should do 3 things, one of which was to rivet and delight.
Wow.
And I don't know I just don't know many preachers who rivet and delight with their preaching. I know plenty who teach well and who prove things well.
Yeah.
But actually, if Augustine, one of the greatest, Christian figures of all time, said that one of the three things it should do is rivet and delight, it's okay for me to do that. It's okay to have a good time listening to the good news.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I don't think every preacher should be Andy Kind or Alan Finnegan, but I should be, and you should be.
Yeah.
And I also think I'm just slightly done with all the sort of twee and trite Christian messages. The reality is that culturally, Christianity has failed in this country. I don't mean the gospel is false.
Yeah.
For me, the gospel is true, and we can talk about why I think it's the best news story out there. But the reality is that we have failed to captivate the nation doing it the way it's been done.
Yeah.
And so I don't really care what anyone else is doing.
Yeah.
I'm going to do it the way I want to do it.
So good.
And the worst that's going to happen is that I do as badly as everyone else.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I don't
That's
care.
what we've ended up doing.
Yeah.
Join us.
I do think, if as a Christians, we essentially believe at the heart of it, like you say, the gospel, like that bit, if you strip away all the nonsense that we, and me, I would say myself, have placed around Christianity at times, if you strip it down to its, its essence, that it is great news for everyone. And I think that's what I really hope we're doing. Even with this would be a dream, that even someone watches who thinks, what what I can see there, even, shows me something that at its essence is good and is right. And let's talk about the book. It feels like we're rolling into that. So Hidden in Plain Sight. We're going to stick the link up that Andy sent to me, and because we're so slick.
Nice to be prepared.
It says here, we looked it up, and it says
we Googled.
Is there truth out there?
Do you want someone else to read it?
Yeah, go on. I can just about see it, to be honest.
I was just going to let him read it, mate. But I in the end, we do want
it's
people.
Called,
her for hidden.
It's called cruelty. That what you're doing here now, bullying.
It's banter.
Bullying.
It's banter.
Bullying.
It's banter.
Bullying.
Okay. Do you know what? The pressure to read this correctly now is overwhelming.
Go on.
Do you know, if I get it wrong,
Sorry, it's not the Hunger Games. You won't be executed if you get it wrong.
If I get it wrong, I'm just trying to make you feel better.
Oh, thanks, mate.
Is the truth out there?
Yes.
Or is it closer to home within you? Or a mixture of both? Hidden in Plain Sight is a book which shuns tribalism and seeks to find a common ground between people of all faiths and none, because there are certain things, core beliefs, that we all agree on, no matter our colour or creed or nation or epoch.
I'm not sure we should start a sentence with because.
Okay.
I'm just going to put that out there.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the book, Andy.
So what do you want to know?
Well,
what it's about.
Yeah.
What it's about, why you wrote it,
Yeah.
what drove you to write this, because
Yeah.
you said to me earlier, often when you're writing something, you never know if there's going to be any sort of payoff, or anyone's going to publish it. So why did you put this in?
Well, I
Why'd
wrote
you put
it.
the
I wrote
effort in?
it because I was really bored of reading books that wouldn't even have converted me, let alone people who weren't Christians. So
Wow.
Hidden in Plain Sight, I wanted to write a book that would have converted me. And I say converted, I mean persuaded me that Christianity was true.
Okay.
And so that is what Hidden in Plain Sight is. But it's also an attempt to have a conversation rather than make a statement or throw out a series of slogans. Because from your own life, I know from my life, if someone wants to give me feedback and they say, have you thought about this, rather than you should do this, they're much more likely to get a good result or for me to listen to them. Part of that is my own sort of pride and insecurity, but that's what everyone has. Telling someone that they are wrong or that they should do something or they must do something, and if they don't, they're in trouble, it doesn't yield results because people's defences come up. Yeah. And that's what a lot of sort of Christian books have done. It's this sort of cajoling into a way of thought and belief. And you just don't get anywhere most of the time. So I wanted to write a book that had very little to disagree with. So I've written this book called Hidden in Plain Sight. And it starts with the idea, it starts with what we all agree on. So whatever our worldview, our philosophy, religion or lack of it, it starts with the things that we all believe are true. that we want to be loved, not just loved, but loved unconditionally, which really is a way of saying we want to find someone who will love us regardless of what we do, who we are, what we say, who won't reject us because of what we say or do. That we all have that desire. We all want our lives to have purpose, to be about something and to go somewhere. We all know that some things are really, really wrong. Now, you and I might disagree on what is absolutely wrong, but we all have that sense of justice, that human rights urge, if you like. Even with someone like Putin, we disagree with Putin, but Putin has a very inbuilt sense that some things are right and some things are wrong. We all know what hope and joy feel like. Tom and I support Arsenal, you support Liverpool, but we know what a winning goal feels like. We know what a penalty shootout feels like. The feelings, even if they're in different directions, the feelings are the same. We know that when we listen to like beautiful music, Enya, for instance, it takes us out of ourselves towards something. So I got a sort of, there's a number of beliefs. I picked a
sail away,
sail away, sail away.
sail away, sail away, sail away. Just a little segue.
Yeah, that's actually in the book. That's verbatim from the book. So I picked a group of things that we all agree on.
Yeah.
And then I said, okay, so that's our little story. My little story and your little story are the same.
Yeah.
Great. We agree. No one's right and wrong. We're all right because we all agree on these things.
Yeah.
Is there, out there, somewhere, a big story that makes sense of that little story?
Yeah.
Is there a philosophy or a religion or a worldview that fits that like a glove? If it's like an identity parade, you've had this experience, you've got these experiences, and you line up all these potential culprits.
Yeah.
Which one are you going to pick out of the lineup? And so I looked at atheism and all the big world religions and landed on the fact that actually, whether we like it or not, even if it's false, Christianity does make sense of our little story. It is a big story that makes sense of our little story.
Yeah.
And none of the other big stories actually do that, which doesn't guarantee Christianity is true. But what it does mean is, well, maybe we shouldn't be dismissing it as quickly as we think. And when we say Christianity, we don't mean the Crusades. We don't mean, shouting at people because they're same-sex attracted. We don't mean like your religious grandmother who smacks you because you didn't eat greens. That's not what we mean.
Yeah.
We mean the story of God coming to find us in our brokenness, offering to fix us, really, offering to love us unconditionally. Yeah. And so the big one is obviously love, because there isn't another story out there where God loves you unconditionally. A lot of people will say to me, oh, but every religion contains the God of love. It just isn't true. That just isn't true. No religion would claim that. And no religion would claim that other religions are as true as they are. So this idea that they're all basically teaching the same thing from different angles, that just isn't true. And yet there is this common ground that we have. And in the identity parade, it is Jesus who you would pick out as recognized from your little story.
Yeah, and it's what I like about it is it's quite thin.
Oh, it's short.
Because the last book I read in school was Flippy the Frog.
Yeah, okay? Same author.
I'm Flippy the Frog. I live in a bog. I go hop hop, and I never stop. Yeah. The end.
It's funny and it's short, and that's what I wanted to do.
Yeah. No, that's fab.
I think in those books, those moments, I think what I was talking about with the preaching thing as well was those, like what you've communicated there is those sense when you truly reflect who God is. That's something beautiful. And it sounds like in here, I know we talked before and Andy was saying this is a book that Christians could read, but then in a sense also to then pass on to someone they know who maybe has heard the Christian faith, in a way that wouldn't be of getting to its essence.
Which is not true. No one's being told off. Yeah. No one is. It's not an adversarial, fight club or anything like that. The reality is, like, if you want to be loved unconditionally, great. There's a God who does that. If you want purpose, great. If you want to know real joy, real freedom, real hope, great. There is a story out there which meets that need. And guess what? It's also true.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah, I was just literally thinking there, what's the first rule of the gospel? We don't talk about the gospel. That is like some Christians' worldview, that, isn't it? What's the first view of the gospel? We don't talk about the gospel.
Yeah. Apart from one night a year when they all come out and say they hate Halloween. Great.
Oh, did you notice?
Thanks, guys.
Did you notice that?
Get back in your box.
That was a thing, wasn't it? It was interesting. Interesting.
yeah.
Wick, we're going to throw the link up for the book, and so I really recommend you to grab a hold of that. And if you're a Christian, give it a read. Give it to someone who maybe has a different worldview, and then you've got a great conversation there afterwards. We're going to play a game of Finnegan's Fortunes, aren't we?
Yes,
we are.
we're going to play a game of
Finnegan's. Do us a little theme
now,
tune
right?
for Finnegan's Fortunes.
It's Finnegan's Fortunes.
Good.
That's
Okay.
it.
That's good. We could pre-record that, but it's fun watching
Yeah,
you do
it's
it
fun
every
watching
week.
me. And what's even fun at the moment is my earphones keep going on and off, so I can't hear nothing. It's quite weird. And that's just gone off.
Don't worry. Here we go.
What's going
So,
on
actually, and Andy, Alan told me you were in the army. He said that,
it's not true.
that you were. So the question we've gone for in tonight's Finnegan's
I'll
Fortunes.
still give it my
Apparently,
best
you
shot.
really like guns.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, go on.
Go on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You love guns.
You've got
Andy.
me now.
Yeah.
You had me at guns.
Remember, you used to go shooting with your dad.
Let's say that.
Yeah,
Let's say
that. Okay.
So the question, and people at home will help you anyway, Andy, but you've got a chance to win some church merch.
Yeah, which is
is
behind,
all of
yeah.
those wonderful things behind. Did you drive? Did
Not
you,
all of them, not the telly.
I know you can't fit a stage in your Skoda,
Well,
but could you fit that big teddy bear behind you in your Skoda?
Well, at an odd day on the way here, I hit and killed a squirrel.
Did you?
Aside from that, it was a fairly straightforward walk from the train station.
But
So
we've got a thing about hitting deers. I've hit a few deers in my time.
He's a deers.
Oh, dear.
Deers. What's going on?
That's a lot.
It's not.
Okay. Right, so
the way
Finnegan's
they were looking
Fortunes.
at him.
No, knowing famously, Andy, that you love guns,
Go on.
we asked 100 people to name a type of gun that doesn't shoot bullets.
What?
That's what we went with, Andy, knowing your love of violence.
And we've got the top 6 answers.
Top 6 answers, and
You've got to get all 6.
You've got to get all 6. If you get all 6, then
You
you
can
win
win
something from church merch.
Okay.
So
Church merch.
we
mate.
can let people help you from home, but normally people do have a couple of their own answers also.
Okay.
So what are you thinking? What are your instincts?
We'll go for nail gun.
Nail
Nail
gun.
Let's have a
Okay.
little look on our thing.
Let's have a look if
Oh.
nail gun is up there.
You
And
didn't pick my
Andy,
iPads up when we were in the house, did you? No, you sure?
Top
answer,
answer,
Andy.
Andy.
Yeah.
Wow,
Woo, woo, woo,
good
woo, woo.
start. I can't do too many things at once.
Can't you? Okay.
So, just
Next, we'll go for Super Soaker / water pistol.
these are flying out. So
Water gun.
you're saying water gun.
Yeah.
Let's have a look. Our survey says
Bing.
water gun is up there. Andy, I've not seen someone with the level of confidence that you're
yeah.
approaching this.
Yeah,
Well, I
definitely smashing
spent
it.
a lot of my teens watching Les Dennis,
Yeah.
just from behind a bin. Let's go next with Nerf gun.
Nerf gun.
Nerf gun.
Okay. Is Nerf gun
Is
up
Nerf
there?
gun there?
Let's have a look.
Our survey says.
And the wheels have fallen off.
Oh, wheels are falling off.
Like Arsenal's title challenge in
It
March.
also shines of ending.
Would you like any help from our audience at
Yes,
home?
I would
You
like,
would like
yes.
help. So I'm going to
going
have
to
a
phone a
look.
friend.
Let's have a look. Pete Smullen has said potato gun, as has Tao. She said potato gun. Spud gun. It's a colloquialism, I believe, for potato gun.
Yes, what the proletariat would call a potato gun. Yes,
Indeed. You
Or
went one higher
Tories.
word than me, and I didn't understand that one. Okay, let's have a look.
I still don't understand epoch.
just means era.
He's a rapper, I think.
I was thinking that, yeah.
Josh has said paintball gun as well.
Yeah, that's a very good one.
Which is a strong one.
We'll go paintball gun and potato gun.
You're going for 2.
Okay.
Yeah. We'll
And
go for
in one go.
No, we'll go for paintball gun first. That's a great one.
Okay.
Paintball gun. So we're going for paintball
Our
gun.
survey,
Our survey says it is up there. It
Fifth
is up
answer.
there.
Fifth
Well
top.
done. Well done.
And then the other one,
Potato gun.
Potato gun. Let's
Spud
have a
gun.
look. Is
A
potato
spud gun there.
gun up
Our
there? Our
survey
says.
says. Oh, you've got one life left, Andy.
So this is problematic now because you need to get. Some people have said this is too hard, and we
I mean,
basically
I've got
say,
the top answer. I've got the fortnight in Malta, haven't I?
no, that's not how it works. You have to get all 6 correct.
To win church, mate.
But I don't even win a washing machine.
No.
You get a massive teddy.
I don't want the massive teddy.
PS3.
Well, you get
PS3?
Yeah.
Yeah, PS3.
I think there's a game jammed in there as well.
Yeah.
So
FIFA 98,
Yes.
Road to World Cup.
classic.
VHS video recorder.
Beautiful.
With DVD player
Beautiful.
built in.
Side.
I mean, what else? A clock.
Clock. Winnie the Pooh clock.
Guitar with no strings.
Glue gun.
Glue gun. Wow. He dug deep
Ooh, he
and he
dug deep
threw
there.
that out there.
Glue gun.
Glue gun.
Our
Let's have a
survey
look. For glue gun, it's a
says-
good answer. It is a
is. It's
solid
a top
answer.
answer.
And it's wrong.
It's right.
Oh, is it?
It's there.
Sorry.
Number 2.
All right, take that back. I've got. Sorry.
Okay, great.
Glue gun.
You've still got
Sorry,
one life,
mate.
Andy.
Yeah, but I've still got 2 to find, haven't I?
You
Two to
still have
find.
got
Do you want-
two
Let
to
me go
find.
to the crowd
Any
and see
other
what
help?
people are saying. Mark Williams, BB gun. Emma Grant, air gun.
Ooh.
Cap gun. Glue gun was up there from Joyce Finnegan.
Well done, Joyce.
Very good.
Thanks, Joyce. And thanks
let's
for tea
see.
as well, Joyce.
That's good. What was it? What did
Linguine, delicious.
I think Alan probably cooked that, didn't he?
No, I didn't. Tonight.
Joyce did that.
Joyce did that.
Very good.
But I
Let's
think
see.
a BB gun
Hang on,
does...
we'll give you a few more.
Glue guns up there. Oh, Debbie. Staple gun.
Staple gun, yeah. Staple gun.
Pete saying
that's a-
staple gun.
Staple gun.
He's jumping on
that's
Debbie's
a
answer
Staple
there.
top answer, that,
Staple
isn't
gun.
it?
And Emma said you should get the massive teddy if you lose,
Yeah.
which is
Yeah, we should start doing that.
Yeah.
If they lose, they've got to take something.
I had a
We're
Tottenham-
left with it all.
yeah. I randomly have a Tottenham top at work that I don't know what to do with, and I was tempted to bring it and give it to Andy to force him to wear it if he got it wrong. But
We'll put it on the bar if you want.
yeah,
Staple gun then.
staple
Staple gun.
Staple gun.
That is a boss answer.
It is a boss
Oh,
answer.
it's wrong though, isn't it?
And-
I can
and
tell
I'm-
it's
Oh,
wrong.
he set you up for that one, didn't
It's
he?
a top answer, that, everyone. But
is a top
unfortunately, our survey says...
Well, that was a very hard one then.
Yeah.
Anyone else? Throw out any
Yeah.
answers at home.
Give us what you think it is. That
think what they
should have
could
been
be.
up there, Staple gun.
Staple gun should have been up there. We did
should
ask
have
100 people in Netherton this afternoon, and no one went
Has
with
got a
staple gun.
No.
So
We literally, it took us an hour
it did.
to ask 100 people.
did.
It was raining.
We're committed, though, aren't
Yeah,
we?
yeah.
So, anyone at home want to shout out? Toy gun, Mike said.
Toy
Water
gun.
gun, Miriam said. We've
We've
got
said
water gun.
Yeah.
Laser gun, Josh. Oh, like the laser pointer thing that you'd use for a PowerPoint. Does he mean?
That's not a gun, though, is it?
Or, yeah.
Stretch.
William Shatner style.
Yeah. Do you know what? I wish people think outside the box.
Yeah, you
a
need to
touch.
think outside the box with
outside
these
the
two.
box a touch. 'Cause
We
it
should
feels,
have said that to you, shouldn't we?
We should. Well, Andy, if we were thinking outside the
Yeah.
box, what would you have gone for?
Well,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Think of guns, Andy.
Well, that's what. Yeah, that's what he's doing.
There's literally, I've spent the last 50 minutes thinking,
Yeah, but that was a clue, Andy.
AK-47.
No. That fires
Well,
real
how's-
bullets.
How's that helping him think about guns?
Because one of the answers is literally...
Oh, okay. Think about guns, Andy.
Oh, biceps.
Hey! I'm amazed he got that from me flexing my arms.
yeah.
He was looking at your chest.
Oi, make him really self-conscious. Okay, here we go. You said,
Why do you
well,
think I
kind
wear
of.
the top?
Well, it's
It's not
preferable to
working.
you being naked.
Not for our
Okay.
1,000 viewers, Tom.
No, that's true.
No.
And the 3 is bicep stroke muscles.
Biceps
so very
muscles,
good.
yeah.
And
the last one is,
the last
again,
one-
I think this is really hard.
This
one.
is hard.
I don't think anyone would ever get this.
no, but it tickled me.
It tickled
The
me when the
last
fella said it to
answer
you.
was son of a gun.
Oh. It's in America. In America, you might get that.
I think we stumbled on some American tourists, 8 of them,
Yeah.
in Marion Square.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were just there with the cameras and that, and we asked them.
We'd just say moron.
And he went, son of a gun.
Son of a gun.
Yeah, you son of a gun.
Very good. Okay, where are we up to?
We're up to Tom's top tips.
Are we
I
going to
think.
do Tom's top
I don't know
tips?
what time it is, Tom. I
People
can't
have,
see.
we haven't done Tom's tips for a while.
I
and
think you should
people have
do one,
complained.
please.
So Tom's top
Yeah,
tips.
do one, Tom.
Do
Yeah.
one. Do one.
Oh, 1, 2, 1, do one.
Yeah, do one. I can't find it. There we go.
find one.
Tom's top tips.
It's Tom's top tips.
Tom's top tips.
So, do you know what? There's been a vicious rumor going around that I googled these top tips,
How dare they?
and I actually did some research and found that actually there has been some plagiarism going on.
Yeah, but it's the other way around.
It's the other way round, and so apparently, the Dalai Lama is stealing some of my stuff. I'm fuming.
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
How dare he? And you know what plagiarism's like, don't you? It's terrible. Terrible.
It's serious stuff, Andy, isn't it? If someone started nicking your book,
Although, like, the police station near you is on Copy Lane. I mean, that's forgery, mate. Get your own lane.
it's true.
It is.
It's very true.
It's hardly ever open, Andy, don't worry.
I love that.
Because there's no crime around
There's
here.
no crime. No,
there's
need.
no police.
No need.
No police.
I love that Andy arrived in Netherton and to situate himself at the local police station.
Yeah,
He was
yeah.
that worried about being in Netherton.
It's like Black Hawk Down.
Yeah, he thought, I just need to get my exits.
I've got to get to
I
the
need
nearest
know."
stadium. Please for my medevac.
Very good. So I'm going to go with, just off the top of my own head, because we talked about holidays a little bit. You went on holiday.
You
to
went
Cyprus.
to a youth hostel.
I went on holiday to a youth hostel.
With
which-
loads of kids.
And the kids I was awoken in the middle of the night to one of my children just throwing up on the
I bet
floor.
you other people in the hostel were really happy with
Well,
that.
we had the whole place because we've got a family. It's a big family. But, it's a big family. But anyway, we, one by one, the kids basically got this bug and were throwing up everywhere. And it was not fun.
That was a good holiday, that one. Eh?
My daughter, Hope, my wife, kind of could sense the signs that she was going to throw up. So she got the
gave it
bowl,
to you.
gave her the bowl next to the bed. And then we both watched her spring up in the middle of the night and just throw up next to the bowl all over the carpet. So I don't know if you slept in a room with carpet that's stained with vomit, but it's...
I have at university.
It's a challenge.
I have literally slept where someone spewed up on my head. Literally on me head.
On your head.
On me head.
You didn't have to go to sleep. You could have wiped it off.
I was already asleep. I woke up full of vomit.
Wow.
Bad idea. That.
Was it Joyce?
No, wasn't Joyce.
Okay. Very good. Well, I'm going with, and it felt like we've got a bit philosophical tonight.
Yeah, okay.
So I'm going with one's destination is never a place, but a new way of seeing things.
A new way of seeing things.
That's wrong, though, isn't it? That.
Why? Why?
It's like if I said, "Oh, I'm going to Centre Parks," supposed to be going to Centre Parks. Oh, maybe I'm already here.
Maybe you are, Andy.
I'm
Maybe
like,
you are,
I'm
Andy.
like, Joyce, I'm turning your stairs into the rapids. So wrong, cancelled.
Wrong.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. All right, Andy.
You're
well,
going to have to do better than that, Tom.
I feel like Andy's laid the gauntlet down.
Yes, yeah. Come on,
Andy,
better
I
than
actually
that.
felt like that was something that could have been in your book.
Yeah, well, it will be. My next book is a response to your
Tom's
tips.
top tips.
Okay. The second one I'm going for, and this is a little bit more practical, but still there's some beautiful wisdom in. I'm going with once a year, go somewhere you've never been before. So it's practical.
Beirut.
Ukraine.
Finnegan's
Afghanistan.
Bar.
Finnegan's Bar. That's what
Andy.
Andy's doing that tonight.
Nailed it.
You,
Nailed it.
You are doing it, lad.
Yeah.
You're literally a living Tom's top
Yeah,
tips.
yeah.
Still living.
The home end at White Hart Lane.
Yeah. Imagine it. No, Tom, that's not.
Not
That's not a good tip.
What would your holiday advice be?
Go somewhere where you know what it's going to be sort of like. Usually all inclusive with a sunbed.
That's literally what you do every month.
I know. It's boss. You should try it instead of youth hostels.
Okay.
My kids weren't sick.
So if people do, some people have been printing some of the things I'm saying on mugs. Andy's going to quote it in his next book. But feel free, if you do, just please, could you attribute them correctly to me?
Not the Dalai Lama.
Not the Dalai Lama. Who else was getting in on the action? Barack Obama?
Yeah. Who's he?
Furious.
I don't know. Anyway.
We're going to finish.
Yes.
Andy, I don't know if Alan told you this. When Alan preps the guest, he rarely tells them what is involved. But what we do is each week, there's an opportunity for you to become a VIP member
Great.
of Finnegan's Bar.
It's fantastic.
Which means you can come anytime you want. Andy.
Great. Can I have a peach snaps?
You can have 2 peach snaps.
Okay. I've got to drive home, but I could have 1 peach snaps. Couldn't I?
One peach snaps. Yeah. And so if you become a VIP member of the bar, what happens is
Get them on the wall, lad.
your name goes onto the wall.
Yeah.
I will write it.
Because he's got the best handling.
Because I'm left-handed.
Because he was
and,
educated as a child.
I can spell.
Yeah, and he can spell
Andy with a Y, I'm assuming, not an I.
That's right.
There we go.
with an A as well.
That's the start. So what we do is we get you to tell a story, and if it's good, you get on the wall. But if it's bad,
You're bad, lad.
you get barred. And actually, sadly, you can never come back.
Okay.
And I don't know how you feel
He's
about
actually
that.
possibly thinking, can I tell the worst story ever so I never have to come here
I'm going to
again?
read the book of Deuteronomy. To you.
Yeah, that's it. It'll be the first time
But people
Alan's
get
heard
to
it.
vote as well.
So people do get to vote at home.
Yeah.
So people will vote at home. So let's say Wall, let's say Bard, and
Or
Thumbs
this
up.
is after Mark Williams,
Mark
wasn't
came
it?
and did a
Maximus.
fantastic
Gladiator style.
Oh, he
so
was
it
brilliant. He did Maximus. He called his son Maximus. I mean,
He did, yeah.
What a guy! What a guy! So you tell the story, Andy, and we'll let people at home vote for if you make it onto the wall. VIP member of Finnegan. So did Alan tell you about this? Did he prep
Well,
you?
no, sort of. I was battling with some linguini at the time. Okay, well, I can tell a story about the most embarrassing thing that's happened to me recently.
Fantastic.
If you'd like,
I'd love that.
So I've joined a gym because basically the only thing I've done with any consistency over the last 2 years is eat. Where are you going, Tom?
Put weight on.
I was trying to be subtle.
Like, honestly, I can't deal with walkouts.
No. Heckling the host.
Your audience just half.
Yeah. If you
I'm back. I never left, Andy.
The door
This
was
is seamless.
open.
The door was open.
yeah, that was like the
We
footprints
don't want any
poem.
vagabonds getting in. Non-members, you know.
Sorry, Andy. You've got my complete attention.
No, so I've joined a gym because I've eaten, like most people, just eaten a load. Like, do you ever put on so much weight you go up a shoe size? That happened to me during the pandemic. So I'm
What, like
Yeah.
a number or a width? You just had to get the width, the fatty width
Yeah,
ones.
I
Or...
just basically could only wear sort of elasticated pumps
Wellies.
for job interviews
Yeah.
and gigs. So I'm on
dates.
I'm on something called the coffee diet. Which
Oh.
have you heard of that?
I haven't, but
No.
tell me more.
It's great.
Tell
So
us more.
it's very good for losing weight. You have a full cafetiere for breakfast, full cafetiere for lunch.
What, the coffee or just you eat the glass?
No, you have a full cafetiere
Sorry.
coffee for breakfast,
Okay.
full cafetiere for lunch, and heart palpitations and diarrhea for the rest of the day. It's really good. You don't lose, it's not good for you, but I've lost weight and most of my friends. So anyway, I've joined the gym, and there's a guy who goes, I'm a heterosexual man, but I appreciate beauty where I see it. And there's a guy at my gym who's absolutely gorgeous. He's just perfect. He's as I wish I was. He's got,
Yep.
sort of creamy biceps and heroic nipples and things like that. He's perfect. And like we go to the gym at the same time. And I was in there
I'd avoid it when he was there, to be honest.
yeah, I can't help it. Like I've only got a 2 hour
All right, okay.
section each week. So we were in there the other week. It was just the two of us in there, and sort of our eyes. We looked at each other because there was two of us in there, but then I didn't look away, which I should have done. What you need to listen to me, Tom.
I'm listening. Go on, I'm multitasking.
No, you're not multitasking
this is,
because you are
this
distracting
is production.
me.
Sorry. Keep going.
So our eyes locked. Oh, he was doing. I mean, he's beautiful. I should say, like, he's really beautiful. I've written about him in my journal. I've imagined painting him like one of my French girls, and our eyes locked because he was doing weights. Obviously, I was on the treadmill, but I'd slowed it down because I was writing a poem about him. And anyway, we our eyes locked, and I realised I'd looked at him too long to be able to look away without it being a problem. So I knew I had to say something. And you would have thought after sort of 16 years of doing comedy, I'd have some kind of out.
Yeah.
Some kind of quick. But what I actually said, as I was sort of bedazzled by his beauty, what I said was, "You have an epic torso, sire." I said sire. Like, why have I called him sire? Like, if you're going to flirt with someone, do it in an Elizabethan way. That makes it less creepy, takes the edge off that. So anyway, like, despite how well built this guy was, he looked really scared. and I thought, I'm going to have to do something. It was a horrible moment because I thought, this is terrible. It was one of those moments where you want you really want to escape. Unfortunately, all my potential methods of escape, cross-country skis, rowing boat, bicycle, all nailed to the floor and thus rendered useless. So that I know what I'll do. I don't want him to feel nervous. I'll flash my wedding ring at him. So I went, but I don't wear a wedding ring. So goodness knows what he thought I was doing. He's like, 5.
Jazz hands again.
Yeah, 5. Number of seconds before I come and give you a great big kiss, sire. So anyway. He again looks really weird and put out. So he at this point puts his weights down and like not quite sprints, but goes at some pace into the changing rooms. Not wanting to have my gym membership rescinded, not wanting someone to feel uncomfortable. I see him go into the gents' locker room, and so I follow him, trying to make it better.
Andy,
no,
no.
so I can't go back there again now.
No.
That's my story.
Back to the cafetiere.
Yeah.
Back to the cafeteria. Wow.
Let us know. What do you think? Can Andy be part of? I mean, let some awkward social interactions. Can Andy still be part of the VIP club with that? Let us know.
I think so.
If he's going to be on the wall or barred, throw them in. Let's see the comments as they come. Josh said that fella sounds like Tom in his tight top. Thank you very much.
I was thinking that myself.
Thank you,
actually,
Josh.
Yeah.
That's a contender for comment of the week, Josh.
Josh flirting.
Yeah. Okay. Here we go. Mark Wadsworth, legend of Finnegan's, is saying it's on the wall. You're on the wall. He's voting yes. Let's have a look.
Someone else said wall, but I can't see it.
Josh
properly.
is saying hopefully you haven't paid for a year's membership up front.
No.
Get him on the wall as a punishment. Ray feels like you need to be punished.
Yeah,
Get him on the wall.
I deserve to be punished.
Here we go. Oh, and Pete has said probably okay. Yeah. Tao said as long as he promises not to make eye contact with us in the bar, he's welcome.
Yeah, I'll wear dark shades whenever Pete's there.
And Pete said, although he's a Tory, he should defo get on the wall. And Carla,
I think we need to
hi,
clarify
Carla.
that you're
I'm
not a Tory.
not a Tory.
not a Tory.
I'm not.
All right.
He's not one of you.
I'm from
Hey.
Stoke-on-Trent.
Yeah, he's not going to be a Tory from there, is he?
No, maybe not.
Labour Heartland, Red Wall and all that.
Well, Carla, our
is
local
a
Labour councillor,
Labour councillor.
is in, and
She's
she
in.
says
She wants to see your membership of the Labour Party.
She, to be fair, has said stalker alert.
Intervention.
So,
Nice to see you again, Carla.
but she's followed it.
See you later.
She's followed it up with get him on the wall. So
Yes.
here we go. We're going to put him on the wall.
Let's get him on the wall, lad.
Get him on the wall, lad.
Get him on the wall, lad.
Very good. Very good. Very good. Right. Andy with a Y.
Fabulous. Fabulous, Andy. It's been
Andy
great.
K.
We're getting to the end of this. It's gone on a little bit longer than I said to you. Sorry about that, my friend.
I've loved it. I've loved it.
But we've got a couple of little things before we ring the bell, haven't we?
Yeah, go on.
We're going to have a Christmas special, Andy. We're going to have a live version of Finnegan's somewhere to be confirmed.
That's amazing.
So-
But we're setting the date.
Yeah, we've got the date. What is the date, Alan?
It's the 14th of December.
so
Because you can't do the 21st because his wife's already out.
Emma's
you know.
out, and she said,
And
I
you
can't,
can't
do
do
it.
it.
Do you know
Can't
what,
do it.
though? It's not that we couldn't get a babysitter. We've got both of our sort of parents locally. It's actually that she wants to watch this.
Oh, well.
She wants to come.
That's
She
fair
wants
enough.
to be involved.
Fair enough,
so
Emma. We like that.
14th of December.
14th of December, venue to be confirmed.
And in fact, we will only tell you the venue if you get your ticket ahead of time. It is a secret venue.
Yeah, secret location again.
And
Yeah.
we're hoping to have some of our previous guests, some of the
Yes.
best guests we've had on so far,
Yeah.
will be making an appearance. I don't think Andy will be there.
Only
I'm
'cause it's-
busy. It's 5 days before my birthday, and I'll be prepping.
yeah.
and it's Stoke's a long way to come.
It
We
is a
really
long
appreciate
way.
him coming here
He's a
tonight, don't
legend.
we?
Yeah.
But he is a legend. And what was it we had to call you? Legend
Slash genius.
slash
Genius.
Legend
Both of those things.
slash genius might be there. You never
Yeah.
know. You never know. No.
Read the book and see what you think.
Vino
That's it.
might be there. Yeah.
And also, we've got some bonus episodes coming out. So
We
we're
have.
pre-recording some episodes. We've
Yeah.
got one with a good friend of ours, Rob Thomas,
Yeah,
which we're
King
going to
of
put
Bootle.
out. King of Bootle,
Yeah.
very funny
King
man.
of Bootle.
We
We don't-
talked to. He's really hilarious, but also got a really interesting perspective on Christianity
faith,
and the
yeah.
Christian
Yeah,
faith.
yeah.
We've also got one with Gav Calver.
Gav Calver.
He
head of-
doesn't know what he's in for. I think
he hasn't got a clue. He's never watched this.
No.
Because if
So-
he'd watched this, he wouldn't be coming
wouldn't.
on this.
No, he's in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, he
really
really,
is.
He is.
really is.
He
He
is.
is going to be in a lot of trouble, especially
So-
when I call him Clive.
So Gav's going to come. We're going to do a pre-record with him.
Wimbledon fan, Gav.
We're
I've
talking
met
football
Gav.
then.
Met him in
Have
a
you?
pub as a Guinness with him.
And he still wants to do this.
Yeah, I was a lot quieter then.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
so-
Well, that's about to hit in.
Yeah,
And next Wednesday evening, we've got Liverpool musician Ian Yates coming to join us.
I'm looking at the notice there and I'm thinking, what's Ian Yates got to do with 9/11? It wasn't him. It wasn't him, mate. It definitely wasn't Ian Yates.
This is a
It's got
conspiracy
9/11 there and Ian Yates.
Don't put that conspiracy theory
Wow.
out there. So that's everything. What I'm going to suggest to you is
Yeah.
Go and get Andy's book for definite. Go and check out where he's gigging. Follow him on social media. Give it a read
yourself, and then pass it on to one of your friends.
And I'm going to give
He's going to put the link up on our Wednesday Night at Finnegan's page.
And do you know what, Josh Dignam? Your nugget of the week for talking to me about my lovely top.
How do you get to pick that?
You can pick one as well then. You haven't, but
I can't
you haven't
see.
thought exactly. Can't even see. So, so
I can't read that.
All right. Well, we're going to go with Josh Dignam.
Okay, Josh.
Actually, also
Josh once offered to wash my feet at the gathering.
He did
because they were full of mud. And I went, no. Stop it.
Josh, I really like Josh. So he's going to get a book and a hat because Josh could pull the hat off. And he's been working out in the gym. He's putting videos up and working out in the gym. He looks great. That's great. It might have been the guy you were staring at. It might have been the fella.
Yeah. Nice to see you again.
Josh is getting it. And Carla. Going to throw a book your way as well. So we'll get those out to you this week. Follow us on all of the social media stuff. YouTube, Facebook. We Tick, we Talk, we Spotify. We're on it.
Insta.
We try.
Yeah, so follow us on all of them and give us a like and a share when you see anything we do. And we'll be back next week with the legend that is Ian Yates.
We will do. Yes. Ring that bell.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night. Andy, thank you again for coming, mate.
My pleasure.
We really, really appreciate it. Good night.